Before starting his mission, the firefighter wanted to smoke. He knew that his chances of returning alive from this task were almost zero, but the cigarette was soaked in water and he couldn't light it no matter how many times he tried. He got up quietly and walked towards the fire. His task was to manually close the valve on an oil tank. If he couldn't close the valve, crude oil would keep flowing into oil tank number 1. The fire would get bigger and bigger. If oil tank number 1 exploded, dozens of other oil tanks would explode too. The power would be like that of 30 atomic bombs. All the residents in the city would die in the disaster. The firefighter couldn't relax for a moment. An hour had passed. The valve was still not closed. He felt something was wrong and reported to the commander outside. At that time, under the commander's constant pressure, the factory manager finally told the truth. It took 80 turns to make one notch. There were 100 notches on a valve, so it took 8,000 turns to close one valve. There were 4 valves. They needed to turn the valves more than 30,000 times. The firefighter had been deceived. The factory manager had said it only took 80 turns to close a valve. The commander was furious.
What do you know about firefighters?
The firefighter was silent when he learned the truth, but he had to keep turning the valves. The long time effort made both him and his teammates physically exhausted. They had also run out of oxygen. The fire was getting bigger. They couldn't get help from outside. They had to turn to the last 2 valves. The final battle began. Suddenly, the fire counterattacked. The deputy captain on the other side quickly took out his phone and recorded a final message for his teammate. After recording, the deputy captain threw the phone into the fire. What they had to do now was to buy time for their teammate in the fire. They had to stop the crude oil flowing to oil tank number 1 before the last 2 valves were closed. But they didn't know that the crude oil had already flowed into the sewer. Flames shot out and there was a violent explosion. All the manhole covers flew into the air. The firefighters were badly injured. Several fire engines were overturned. Seeing the fire getting bigger and bigger, without the fire engines, to protect the oil tank number 1 area, all the firefighters rushed into the fire and decided to form a human wall with their bodies to stop the spread of the fire. At that critical moment, a stream of water temporarily drove back the fire. It turned out that another team had come to support. The deputy captain ordered the team members to retreat quickly and he would cover them. All the team members were saved. However, he missed the best time to retreat and sacrificed himself in the fire. On the other side, the 2 firefighters who were still turning the valves in the fire, one of them couldn't hold on any longer. The firefighter lied to his teammate that there was only 1 valve left and he could do it himself. So he tricked his teammate out and stayed behind to turn the valve. But as soon as his teammate went out, the fire instantly swallowed the way back. He endured the high temperature and tried his best. Finally, he successfully closed the last valve. With the last explosion, he was blown up and fell into the fire. In the end, after the sacrifice of many firefighters, the fire was finally brought under control.